After Tioa regained her memory, Jack is about to have another baby. Put it back on the agenda. After hearing Jack's plan, Tioa, my face turned red with embarrassment. If she could talk, they will surely say that Jack is too stubborn. Seeing that it was late at night, they decided to go back inside and rest. After nearly a week of transformation, a house that leaks from all directions. It was tightly covered with wooden panels. Besides, Jack also built 2 rooms with wooden planks. Wait until the room door is secure. The couple had it. Your own private space. Think about this. They hugged each other tightly. The difference is that degree. Father-in-law caught between 2 wives. These 2 people met. The scene can be imagined. If a woman comes this time, if for no other purpose, mother-in-law is probably pulling hair with her. Witness the woman and her father meet again. Mother-in-law feels very happy. She wished the 2 of them would fight in front of her. It's just that women don't do that. She had only one purpose in coming here this time. That's the motorbike coming back to father-in-law. Father-in-law won't give it to her. She just dug it into her father-in-law's pocket. A moment when she could do nothing. Finally, the father-in-law had to pull out the key and throw it on the ground to prevent women from bothering themselves in the future. The father-in-law had no choice but to let the woman drive the motorbike. Women only earn money. The first time she received the key. Just ride a motorbike. The passing of the ex-wife. That doesn't mean the trouble ends here. Mother-in-law came to his side. Father-in-law was scolded directly. Mother-in-law said that if he did not obey later, she will also kick him out of the house. Let's see where he can go next. After scolding Dad, the mother-in-law ordered Jack's father to go out and buy meat for her. A father separated by many people. He can only let his mother-in-law control. Seeing Father Jack obey her orders, mother-in-law feels her family's status reach unprecedented heights. She is happy here. As a father, he felt very lonely. After a while, depressed father-in-law, he returned home carrying the pork he had just bought. Who would have thought that the mother-in-law would see meat on the piece of meat he bought? Also comes with pigtail. On the spot, she accused him of buying bad meat. Let him take it back and replace it now. The father-in-law had no choice but to comply with her request. He ran back and exchanged it for a piece of bacon. After changing meat, she told her father-in-law to cook. Wait until mealtime. Father-in-law started having trouble again. Mother-in-law uses the biggest bowl in the house. Get yourself a big bowl of rice. Wait until it's time to prepare dinner for mother-in-law. Father-in-law only got half a bowl. Father-in-law looked at the little amount of rice in the bowl. He wanted to say something, but didn't. As everyone knows, his mother-in-law's troubles for him have only just begun. Father-in-law just put chopsticks on the plate, ready to add a piece of meat. He was stopped by his mother-in-law. She picked and chose in the bowl. She chose the fattest piece and married it to her father-in-law. To prevent her father-in-law from snatching her flesh, directly put a plate of meat. Pour it all into her own bowl. At this time, father-in-law, he could only act like a mistreated child. As daughter-in-law, looking at mother-in-law eagerly. Mother-in-law eats eagerly. Mother-in-law eat together. She also praised her father-in-law for his delicious cooking. This behavior, like rubbing salt into the wound of father-in-law. After eating, mother-in-law just rubbed her mouth and left. And these leftover dishes and chopsticks. Of course, father-in-law has to clean up. For this kind of life now, mother-in-law feels very satisfied. Besides, what she likes most is the feeling of being a father. Why don't you wash the dishes here? He wanted to sit down and rest for a while. Then he was ordered by his mother-in-law to sweep the floor again. How old is the question? Evil mother-in-law Tioa was covered up by bad guys. She struggled desperately, but still cannot escape the control of the bad guys. To be able to control him, the bad guy took out the snakeskin bag he had prepared in advance. Cover her head. After trapping the mother-in-law, the man took out his cell phone. At the same time, Tioa went out to buy nails. Just happened to pass by here. She is so far away. She heard someone calling for help. She followed the sound, found a man doing bad things. She failed once. She did not dare to run to stop him. She could only hide in the bushes at the edge. Witnessed the man riding the motorbike away, until she was sure that the man was gone. Only then did Tioa dare to slowly approach her mother-in-law. After hearing the familiar voice of mother-in-law, Tioa was surprised to see the person in the snakeskin bag seems to be the mother-in-law. She had no intention of meddling in other people's business, but good character. It still kept her from leaving, thinking of mother-in-law. All the harm done to me in the past. Little flower now, constantly hesitating between whether to save her or not. After thinking for 3 seconds, she decided to go save her mother-in-law. So she went to see her mother-in-law. She took the condom off her body. Tioa's sudden appearance makes her mother-in-law suspicious. She takes it for granted. Tioa and that bad guy are in the same group. The more she thought about it, the angrier her mother-in-law became. Prepare to teach Tioa a lesson. She raised her hand to slap Tioa in the face. But it slapped Tioa's hand. She refused to give up. Take off Tioa's hat. Use this hat. Cover Xiaohua's mouth and nose. She intended for Tioa to feel it too. What did that man do to himself? Think about this. Mother-in-law picked up the snakeskin bag next to her. Just put it on Tioa's head. If it weren't for Tioa's desperate struggles, maybe Tioa will really be poisoned by her mother-in-law. After escaping the shackles of mother-in-law, Xiaohua ran away after a tantrum. Mother-in-law chased Tioa for less than a few hundred meters. As a mother, she was so tired that she could hardly breathe. Mother-in-law is breathing heavily. While cursing, Tioa ran further and further away. Mother-in-law will definitely find an opportunity to take revenge and come back. At this moment, Tioa did not dare to stop and explain. She just wanted to get out of here as soon as possible. First time after returning home, little flower jumped straight into her mother's arms. Everyone looked scared. Quickly asked Tioa what happened. Tioa was speechless. She could only use actions to describe what had just happened. These actions of hers also confused. To find out what happened, Jack carries Little Flower's little book. Little Flower borrows pen and paper. She wrote her own experience about it. After Jack saw the words on the notebook, only then did I understand what happened to Tioa. She said to Tioa, she will definitely go see her mother-in-law to resolve that matter. At the same time, she also warned Tioa, never happen to someone like this again. Don't mind it. If the other person is the mother-in-law, then there is no need to worry about it, because she is an ignorant person. What did Jack say? Little Flower remembered carefully. After these instructions, Jack helped Xiaohua, who was still in shock. What do you think of today's video? Leave a comment below.